The Workers' Party on Svent in April 2025 launched its manifesto for the upcoming general election, proposing sweeping reforms including the abolition of GST on essential items, the implementation of a national minimum wage, and the introduction of a wealth tax. The 122-page manifesto, titled Working for Singapore, was unveiled at the WP headquarters at 701 Geylang Road. The document sets out the opposition party's vision for a more inclusive, democratic, and resilient Singapore. WP's policy research head Gerald Guillaume led the media briefing, joined by Associate Professor James Lim and He Ting Ru. Notably, party leaders Pritam Singh, Sylvia Lim, and Mohammed Faisal Abdul Manab did not participate in the presentation panel. Divided into 5 thematic sections, the manifesto covers issues related to affordability and cost of living, economic growth and opportunities, inclusion and equality, governance and accountability, as well as security and geopolitics. The party's 125 policy proposals represent a significant expansion from its previous 39-page manifesto released during the 2020 general election. In his foreword to the manifesto, WP Secretary General Pritam Singh emphasized the essential role of a loyal opposition in Singapore's parliamentary democracy. Singh stated that the country's political framework was designed to host an opposition presence in parliament, a loyal opposition that works in the interests of the country. He stressed that having alternative views is not a sign of disloyalty, but a legitimate aspect of democratic participation. There remains much work to be done, Singh wrote, citing the need to support vulnerable Singaporeans and introduce policies that accommodate a more diverse society. The 2025 manifesto, he said, is a modest contribution to these efforts. He Ting Ru addressed the media on policies related to inclusion and equality, stressing that global events like the COVID-19 pandemic and ongoing international conflicts have worsened inequality and discrimination. She called for a formal framework to measure policy outcomes beyond GDP, highlighting the need for data on social well-being and equity. Among the proposals in this section are extended childcare leave on a per-child basis, reduced class sizes in schools, and allowing singles to apply for build-to-order flats from the age of 28, instead of the current minimum of 35. WP is also repeating its call to lower the voting age from 21 to 18, a move aimed at encouraging younger Singaporeans to engage in civic life earlier. James Lim spoke on the importance of strengthening employment protections amid economic uncertainty. He outlined WP's proposed redundancy insurance scheme for local workers. Under this proposal, retrenched workers would receive 40% of their last drawn salary, capped at 40% of the national median income, for up to 6 months. Lim argued that such a scheme would provide much-needed stability during economic downturns and prevent long-term displacement. The party has also reiterated its call for a national minimum wage and various cost of living measures, including targeted GST exemptions. WP has called for significant reforms to public institutions and governance structures. Among these are the repeal of the Internal Security Act and the introduction of a Freedom of Information Act. The party also proposed abolishing the office of mayor, arguing that such roles add layers of bureaucracy without providing commensurate value to residents. Other suggestions include enhancing judicial oversight, improving policing standards, and strengthening safeguards to maintain institutional integrity. In the final section of the manifesto, Gerald Guillaume outlined WP's views on security and geopolitics. He reiterated that national defense is a core responsibility of government and is fundamental to Singapore's sovereignty. WP supports a strong military and proposes raising the median monthly allowance for full-time national servicemen to 1,600 Singapore dollars to better reflect their contributions. The party also emphasized the importance of countering non-traditional threats, including grey zone tactics that fall short of armed conflict, but still threaten national security. To bolster food resilience, WP suggests boosting procurement from local farms by large institutions, which could strengthen local agricultural sectors and enhance self-sufficiency. During the briefing, Guillaume responded to questions about the risks of a weaker ruling party due to opposition gains. He dismissed such concerns, arguing that the current system concentrates too much power in the hands of the ruling People's Action Party. Guillaume maintained that WP aims to provide strong alternative voices without the restrictions of the PAP whip, enabling its MPs to better represent constituents. He reiterated that the role of the WP is not to undermine governance, but to improve national policy through constructive engagement. In the lead up to this year's election, the party has also taken to social media to highlight 15 policies it had proposed in the past that were later implemented by the government. These include measures in areas such as unemployment benefits, housing access, healthcare, protection from scams, and improvements in the justice system. WP framed these instances as evidence that opposition voices have contributed to collective national progress despite not forming the government.